Yes, hello guys, and welcome to another live video. Today, as you can see on the thumbnail, we are going to be talking about contract termination. So, can a player just terminate his contract just like that, or we can say, can a player just decide to walk away from his contract? Stay tuned and listen to just this episode because I will just be giving you some short tips. So let's go. This video concerns players, sporting directors, or whosoever who are interested in football. So you can get always few tips on this channel. I'm football license agent Gaucho Brand. So stay tuned and listen to what I have to tell you. So can a player terminate his contract? Before I start this video, I would have loved you guys to first give you on your own opinion, then I answer. But anyways, for those who are viewing, I'm just also going to go straight ahead. The answer is yes, you can terminate your contract, but with a reason. That's for sure. With a reason. You can terminate your contract with the team, but with a reason, and which is called just cause. I'm just going to give you a few tips on those things so that at least we run straight into it. So first of all, what is a contract first before we are talking about termination? What is a contract? So in a contract first, when signing a contract, you sign a contract. Let's take, for example, the team. In simple terms, a contract is a legal agreement between the player and the club. Once both parties have signed, they have agreed. It's almost like a promise that you have made to each other that no, it's unbreakable. But that contract also has rules and regulation that binds you both. So no one can just decide to walk away. But in those rules and regulations that they are on the contract that follow FIFA terms, if you make any mistake or if the club treats you badly, let me put it, I'm trying to explain it as much in normal terms so that you also the listeners can understand. If the club treats you badly, goes against the policy of the contract, then it's rightly so that you can do certain things to be able to move away. That's why I say yes, but on condition. But also, let's take for example, on late if you just walk away from your contract, let's say you are done with this, then you are going to face consequences, which is normal. I think most of you guys know about that. So yes, players can break contract, but without break contract. But if you don't have just cause, then you're going to have a big problem. So when if you're terminating a contract with a team, there must be reason for just cause. So just cause is you must have a reason. Just cause is the legal terms FIFA uses. You must have a reason to be able to terminate your contract. So what do we even call just cause? So for example, the club hasn't paid you salary for over 2 months and you have informed the club, that's a just cause to terminate the contract because according to FIFA rules and regulation, you are entitled to your salary. So you inform them before doing that. So you have a right. That's why they say 2 months. You're being mistreated or abused. The place is not also safe. Then the club has clearly breached your contract terms. In cases like this, FIFA says the player has the right to walk away, but you have to also give them prior notice. You have to also give them information. Let's take, for example, when the club doesn't pay you 2 months salary, you have to also still inform them before walking away. You understand what I mean? So those are one of the things that I'll be talking about these days. But I'm just trying to highlight you because I'm going to go into details with these more details. So what happens if a player breaks a contract without just cause? So if you break a contract without just cause, which means you have no reason. Let's take, for example, and you decide, let me say you have a contract with a team and don't turn up, and that's a professional club. You don't turn up. Yeah. So you have to you have to face financial compensation. That you have to pay financial compensation. So you have to know all those things that you will face financial compensation. You can receive suspension. There are a lot of things that you can face. So let me give you some just one of few reasons for clubs. Let me say terminating. So let's take for example to terminate a contract. You have one. The first reason you can have by your mutual understanding. Let me say that's the most thing that FIFA says that a contract can be terminated by a professional player when him or the club they comes to, let me say, they can understand each other and say okay, or either by if the contract has not expired, it can be terminated by mutual understanding. What I mean by is you people come to an agreement that okay, we see that this is we all come to an acceptance that okay, we have to go separate ways. By that's mutual understanding by you both. Termination of contract with just cause is almost like it's like I'm going to give another terminate. That's another way of termination. Termination of contract just cause is one of the reasons that I told you that the club doesn't pay you, like for example, 2 months salary. That's a good reason, or you're mistreated. That's termination of contract. You can have a just cause. Also, there's another termination of contract. We just call for outstanding salaries. That one we're going to talk about it in another video also in details. And there's also that termination of contract with sporting just cause, which means I'll give you another one. Let's take for example, if you sign a contract with a club and then within the entire season you play less than 10% of the game, that's terminated. You can terminate your contract for sporting cause that you have played less than 10 minutes. But I think most people don't know about this. So these are things that I always tell agents that agents have to be looking at for more seriously with your clients. Because if your client is sitting on the bench and you don't know all these things, the client can play, let me say, just 2 games in a season. And you keep on saying that he will have his chance, you have his chance. No, your client has the right to play more than 10% of the games. That's why you see most clubs who know these things, their lawyers always advise them. Probably the players who sit on the bench, they bring them to play the Carling, or if it's in England, they bring them to play the Carabao Cup, they bring them to play the Carling Cup. And then they don't, those players who are on bench, the supporters most don't know these things, but the people behind the scenes, like the lawyers advising the club, saying that, okay, this player has to play at least more than 10% of the games because he can terminate the contract based on that. So, but people who don't also, let me say, but this also is almost like some people who don't also know this because their experience, how do they call it? Their experienced agents who also don't have an idea, who don't read the rules and regulation all the time. So they might not know about this to also tell their client, or if they might know, their client may be earning a lot of money that they might say, well, he can sit on the bench. He's going to the other move who comes, we're not getting a lot of money from that. So there are also different parameters to this. So those are one of the things that I wanted to talk about, terminating of contract today, that you cannot terminate your contract as a player. I'm talking about this topic because I got a message from a friend trying to ask me about his situation with the club. So I decided that I have to talk about this also. So if you're listening, just pay keen attention. You cannot terminate your contract with the club. It has to be won by mutual understanding with the club if you're under contract terms, except the club goes against its rules and regulation. Against the contract, not its rule, against the contract terms. So you cannot just walk away from that. Another reason that I said you can terminate, another reason is by if you have played less than 10% of the game or a season, you're entitled to terminate the contract. Then you can use sporting cause. These are also the things that agents use. Your agent can use. They can use to terminate the contract. That okay, you have played less than 10%, so you have a just cause there to terminate the contract. That's another one. Or terminating. There's another one also, terminating contract, outstanding salaries. That one we are going to talk about it in more into detail. So those are the things that you can always look for to also look to give, let me say, to be able to terminate contract if you want to walk away from a difficult situation with the club. So anyways, these are the things I wanted let's talk about. I'm going to also give more details on this next time. So we keep in touch and stay connected and always try to learn and keep growing, because as I said, the FIFA agent platform, or the FIFA rules keep evolving a lot of the time. So as an agent or sporting director, people working in football club, because this is always for you guys, this to learn these things I'm speaking here, because what a privilege for you guys to have like someone just trying to tell you guys the rules and regulations. You can just sit, maybe put your earphone, listening to these things, and you know one or two things. You pick one or two things that you can use rather than going to read a book. So anyways, It's nice sharing with you guys. So keep in touch and stay tuned. Talk to you another time. Cheers.